Oh, hey, who are you, man?
Yeah, where's Soju?
Yeah, well,
He's coming.
he's
We're gonna
coming.
find
We'll
him.
get him at some
We're gonna
point.
find. We got another
yeah.
chair to pull up when he shows up.
I feel like we're about to take off.
I mean, based on our dinner last night, I felt like you're ready to take off, brother. Aren't you ready? As a Bobby, who's the founder of Dupe. Dupe is what are we calling it? An agentic shopping app? How are we calling it now? Because you guys
AI commerce.
AI commerce. You're going to be the defining app for AI commerce.
I think so.
#1 in the App Store, my friend.
Yeah.
Who'd you pay for that?
Tim Cook, speed dial, cost us a few $1 million. Mr. Soju.
We're gonna slide over and get. Yeah, he's coming. We need another chair.
All right, we're live. Pull on people up here. If we can get another chair here, folks, that'd be wonderful.
What's up, dude?
We'll get another chair. You guys should just share a chair and look at how professional.
We could just
no, we'll
stand.
have another chair coming here.
Oh shit! No, this is like plugged in,
You're like
dude.
double the size of Soju. You just sit on your lap.
All right, the guys are doing. Soju, we'll get you set up here in a second. Let's just chat with Bobby for a second here, and then Soju will pull you. You can stand right there. You look good. Just stand there very awkwardly and look like you know what you're doing here. Okay, so Dupe, agentic commerce with a token. It's kind of a. I mean, I think we had you on the show a while back, and you kind of mentioned that you kind of fat-fingered launched the damn thing at the time. And I think we kind of got to check in at that point around like, okay, well, how did that feel? I think you put on, you said it was a wonderful thing. You're very excited about it. We're now another 3-4 months from then, and you look back on the
7.
decision. Okay, 7 months. But we'd like to talk to you in a month. Okay, 7 months, whatever. I'll believe
7 months since launch.
Time flies.
7 months since launch. So are you excited about what the token has brought, your product, your business?
I think so.
Your day-to-day life?
I think so. I mean, today I am. Look at it. I mean, it feels like we're in France and Cannes with this weather. It's like so nice. Yeah, like I'm excited about it. It's still early. I'm still figuring a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of growing pains. We've gotten our ass kicked a little bit in the last few months. You know, I get to claim ignorance. This is like I get to kind of bring a lot of beginners' mind to the token. So and because we're new to crypto, I think we got like a lot of leeway, which is helpful. I think.
I mean, I think beginner's mind is like there's so many folks that are sort of fronting around. I mean, the timeline's filled with people who have very strong opinions, and yet those opinions seem to flip every 3, 4, 6 months, weeks, etc. So I think beginner's mind is like the longer you can stay in that, I think the better things are.
Yeah, I think the way to do it is you just keep edging, keep pushing the next boundary, and you stay ignorant through the whole thing, right? Like what's the saying? Like ignorance is a mother that's always pregnant, sort of thing.
I've literally never heard that before, but I like it.
Indian.
That's not an Indian thing. No, that's like a thing. Like you just stay constantly pregnant with ignorance, and I think a lot as long as people kind of see the work, they see the effort, and you seem to like keep pushing the boundaries, which I think we are. I think we get a lot of leeway from the community, and a lot of people rally behind us. So that's kind of the secret ingredient.
Nice. So do we have you yet, or can you hear us through here?
There's no song.
Okay. Well, it's working.
Are you plugged into the chair? That's the.
It's
You're gonna just keep it on. It's for the stream, but
yeah. Oh, I love you. Just poked yourself in the eye with the Mac. I've got my beard probably tickling this thing the entire time. Okay, so Soju from Meteora, you guys had a killer event yesterday. We got the pleasure of sneaking into it. We didn't. Security wasn't super tight there, FYI, but we just looked like trustworthy people, I think. And so you know, you're on sort of the by far Josh's favorite liquidity pool tool on Solana. Period. He's a bit of a
It's a great product.
He's a bit of an addict. And so I thought, you know, the unique conversation I think we can have here today based on both of your experiences, your skills, et cetera, is sort of around this big open question I think everybody's trying to figure out, which is like, what makes a token valuable? And I'll go to you, Bobby, first as we figure out this audio here. I think you've been fairly, you know, there's also been the subtext of people suggesting that tokens need to be equity or tied to equity to be valuable. And you continue to say that's utter bullshit. So help me understand your
just to be clear, like I'm not against ownership tokens. I just think a lot of projects / launch pads, no name shall be named, like I think they're LARPing a little bit, and they're trying to buck a trend like pretty early. I think it's inevitable at some point tokens will be or equity will be tokenized. It's probably going to happen next year. A lot of people, by the way, I lost all volume at this point, so
we can still hear you, so you're good to go. Yeah.
But like I think like the broad theme, at least that we take to it, is an ownership token, if not recognized by law, is not an ownership token. And where we are right now, at least in the US, and I'm bringing a very US bias to this, I get kind of skewered a lot because people always say like, well, there's a lot of great entrepreneurs outside the US, bro. Like, why do you keep talking? And it's like, 100%. I just don't know anything about what's happening outside the US. And it's not that I don't care. It's that it's not relevant to me right now. So I care about the US only. At least in the US, the law just does not allow ownership tokens. They want you to stay as close to a non-correlated company, token to be non-correlated to a company as possible. And there's like a lot of shades of veneer that people apply to this concept of ownership tokens, which I appreciate. Like, again, they are also like ignorance is a mother that's always pregnant. Like, they are constantly pushing the boundaries, and so they're given a lot of leeway. I just don't like the idea that like we are emphatically saying, oh yeah, like because I'm on this launchpad, you now own, like you're on my cap table or you own the upside of my company. And and I talk to a lot of these like launchpad founders and the founders who are launching their tokens on these launchpads privately. You were at dinner last night. We were talking but we had 15 people with us. A lot of those founders were there. Some of those launchpad people were there, and they all agreed that it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And like they're all just sort of painting with a very broad brush and hoping for a marketing moment. And they're hoping that in the next few months it does get legitimized. But let's not pretend like it's legitimized now, because it's not.
Yeah. Soju, how do you think about this question of what makes the Meteora token valuable? I saw you guys announce $10 million in buybacks yesterday. Obviously a step towards, some economic alignment between protocol success and token success. But how do you think about that at the higher level?
I think the answer is a lot simpler than people think. What makes a token valuable is if people want to hold it. So if you can convince people to hold it, and then it's valuable. So you can convince people to hold it by utility. You can convince people to hold it by ownership or of rights. If people hold it because of trust, then it's valuable. It's just that rights is a very total holder rights like Fugazi and like tokenized equity is a very less or no thing. It's easy to point to everyone in the know and say you should be in the less. It's a very clear cut line. While if you do utility, it's like you'll be like, oh, is this enough? It's a gray area. It's like, is this enough? Is this not enough? Some will say it's enough. They're the loyal supporters. Some will say it's not enough. They're the ones that bought at a higher price and it ran down. But they're still supporters. So it's a spectrum. So the reason why ownership and tokenized equity is that it's almost too clear cut. And what I'm doing right now is that because it's too black and white, it's difficult to go into it. Because once you go in, you can never release it. Mm-hmm. It's an irreversible decision. So we go back to what's the right thing to do. Build a holder base that trusts you. Because if they trust you, it doesn't matter whether it's Fugazi, equity, or utility. It works. And ultimately, that's what I'm working on, and I think that's what Bobby is pushing on as well. Like we don't over-index on the how. We just want to build the holder base that matters and wants to follow us.
Yeah, I think that stepping back, there's sort of this job of defining a narrative.
Yep.
And sort of, the unique thing here is that these are literally valueless things until we embed value on. I mean, it's magic internet money. It's fantastic at its core.
That is literally what it is.
It is, right? And so the sort of, I think one of the things that a lot of new founders sort of ignore or forget is how much agency they have around defining that narrative, and also how easy it is to limit that in a way by starting to make specific things. I would argue that a lot of those folks that chase the sort of blind buyback and burn mechanism over the last little while have kind of pigeonholed them into a place where it's like clearly the market doesn't value it in the way that maybe many thought they would value it. And then the sort of you're sort of anchoring the value in on that one mechanism in a way that might limit the scope of how you might define the value here. I'm wondering if that resonates.
Yeah, it definitely does, because that's very black and white too. 100% buyback and burn is very black and white. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is that you have built a holder base that holds a coin based on that assumption, which means you can never leave that assumption. Once you leave the assumption, it's straight to zero, basically, because you have broken the core thesis of the product. You have
discretionary. That's the word.
Discretionary.
I read your tweet very carefully.
Yeah, Matt is doing discretionary buybacks. Yes. Yeah, which is like, you trust me to run a company, to make money, to not spend it all, and then take the remaining and buy back the total when it makes sense. Yeah. So that's what we will do. And this has a flexibility, and it doesn't give us the instant gratification that people want in this industry, but we believe that sets up for success in the long run, for sure.
How about for you, Bobby? How are you thinking about that narrative?
Same thing. I mean, for us, because we know that we don't, like, I don't want to lie to people about what we are or are not. So I like to stay in I like to control the things I can control, right? And so the thing that I can control is right now the way Dupe is set up is discretionary, very important term here because there's multiple uses of cash. One of them is buying back, another is marketing, another is ops, stuff like this. But no, we basically said, look, like we want more people. Dupe is more valuable as a company when more people use Dupe. Not when I do more buybacks, not when we have more token holders, not when we raise more money. It's when more people use Dupe. It's a money printer, right? It's like a very top of funnel thing. So we've engineered tokenomics that give people a reason to use Dupe more, and importantly, tell their friends about it, spread the word about it, help us market it.
But you're making more money. Doesn't mean that me as a token holder gets to see that, or how do you tie those together?
I think it's like really important. I know this is going to break a lot of brains, and especially like people outside the US just don't want to hear this. In the US, you are not allowed, like straight up, you are not allowed to correlate your company value to your token value. That is just bad news. The moment you do that, you're skirting a whole bunch of security laws, all right? Securities laws. It's not for, like I want to be able to do that, but I can't. The law will not allow it. And it might change in the next couple months. And so in the face of that, we do discretionary buybacks, and we've bought back a lot. Like we've bought back, 24, 25% of our token.
Okay.
And we're still doing it. We have a great
Pasternak exit liquidity.
What's that?
Pasternak exit liquidity.
Pasternak exit liquidity. I mean, best thing I ever did was get our tokens back from Pasternak in the early days. The point is, like, again, I could just not say what I just said and say, oh no, like the company's totally correlated and like the token's going to go up as the company goes up. But the reality is, if the tokenomics work and the company goes up because more people are using it, that the fund flow into the token is there. Like we have the mechanics to do that.
Right.
And we do that already.
Right.
But I cannot and will not right now say that these are like entirely correlated. Like we are not allowed to say that.
Well, I mean, I think the thing most tokens are missing is the growth story.
Yeah.
So you see, a lot of projects doing buyback and burns, trading at multiples that look like kind of mature SaaS products or something, right? So I'm curious for both your perspectives, like what the growth story within your respective token networks look like. Maybe for you, Bobby, like you went to #1 on the App Store. Obviously, macro conditions were kind of shit.
Yeah.
But the token didn't really seem to respond to that. So, like, what does growing this token network actually look like?
First of all, I think you're wrong. The token did respond to it. We like 2.5x in price in like 1 hour of going live.
Research, eh?
Josh. Okay, Josh. It didn't. It didn't respond.
Let me rephrase.
I want to point out, like
like
Bitcoin went from 120K to 82K when we launched all the good news. All right, and we somehow 2.5x.
So incredible work.
I expected it to have more of an impact because getting to #1 in the App Store in the e-commerce category is
like the hard.
Insane.
No. First of all, see, man, you guys just didn't do any of your homework before bringing me on. We didn't go #1 in the e-com category. We went #1 in the App Store.
There we go.
We beat ChatGPT. We beat Google. We beat all of them when we went live. I'm just giving you some shit.
Oh, we love it.
No, but you're 15th in the e-com yesterday, so that's what I was like.
Well, yesterday, yes, but like when we launched, we went #1. The problem is like we tried to break out the token. Again, I cannot talk about price, and I will not talk about price of our token. No. It seemed like the token tried to break out multiple times, and it really rallied. And there was about a week where Bitcoin and all the majors were crashing, and Dupe kept kind of holding really strong, which was very surprising. And in fact, it kept going up. But at some point, I think there's just so much buyer exhaustion. People were just feeling.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think the bigger question is sort of around what is the growth story that needs to be told that actually sort of elevates and trickles down to the token.
I think if you believe that there's a secular trend in AI commerce, and you're seeing, when Dupe launched our AI commerce product and went to the App Store, Alibaba the next day was like, oh, we're pivoting, we're going into this model. 2 days later, ChatGPT launched their version, then Perplexity. Like all the majors are now pivoting to this model that Dupe launched. If you believe that Dupe is in pole position and we have an MCP, we're talking to a lot of the major LLMs to be integrated into their rails. There are billions of people that we are targeting to bring into Dupe without them necessarily going to dupe.com. That's the growth story that I think people should be really excited about.
I like it. Right. So I'm curious because I think Bobby represents a founder and a product that launched on a launch pad and has since transitioned away, really reclaimed a lot of that power. And I think already seen the success of that, and I think it's going to play out dividends into the future. I'm curious of how you're sort of looking at the category right now, and do you see yourselves as sort of competing in the launchpad space? Do you see yourself meaningfully differentiated there? Like, how do you sort of look at the layout of the ground right now?
Yeah, I think I'm a very simple guy. I think me and Bob, I think Bob will see something similar. Is that like I like to focus on what works. I don't know whether which launchpads will do well. I don't know what will do well. I don't know what people want to trade. So what do? We build out an entire independent marketing agency that just goes out there and tells the story on behalf of the creators that work with our partners. So that's actually how me and Bobby met. Is that like, oh, they launched on Believe. I was like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. We sent in the Meteora straw, wrote stories about Dupe, got it out there. And I know that will work no matter which partner works with Meteora. And I'm very happy that when people were looking off to migrate off Believe, we actually captured pretty much 80% of the market cap, because everybody that was doing well was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer, just do it, Soju, like, just do it. You don't have to talk to me, like, get it done. And then the other teams were like, oh, can you give me money and stuff? And I was like, great, you can go to Pump Fund, get paid, and then I can spend more energy helping the teams that are staying, which is great for me, because ultimately my main problem actually is scaling up my team to help all the teams and tokens that's on Meteora. So ultimately I want to help Dupe win. I want to help all the big players win, and then and I know that will work. And if I can scale that to as many launchpads and teams as possible, I think Meteora will probably be a main player in this space. Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting is like in the great summer war of all the launch pads of 2025, with a lot of bodies in its wake, Soju was actually like at the center of it, because Dupe was approached by all the majors. I mean, they're all small in terms of whatever, but all of them were throwing money at Dupe and all of Believe's projects. And we went to Soju and we're just like, yeah, dude, if you want us to stay in your ecosystem, you're gonna have to throw money at us. And he was the only one that said no. He's like, I'm not gonna do that. But if you stay, I'm going to like really help. I'm going to lean in, and we're going to help you market, and we're going to do this. And I found that really refreshing, actually. Like, he trusted his product, he trusted his team, he trusted his ecosystem, and ultimately he trusted his pitch. And like, we stayed, and we were like, yeah, it would be nice to have a couple $1 million more right now, but I think like if you're playing the long game, you want to be surrounded by the right people. And I think Meteora, the Meteora team, approaches it in the right spirit.
So I think we have this belief that crypto is heavily talent constrained. I think
it is.
The tech is here, the opportunity's here, and continues getting bigger. But we just don't have more people like you guys. If you may not be here if you didn't fat finger a token launch.
I wouldn't be here, just to be very clear.
I'm not here by choice.
So like, what does it look like to attract more people like you? And yeah, let's start there. Like, what's going to get the next wave?
It's really hard because if like I talk to founders all the time and they ask me, it's like, hey, we're thinking about doing a token. We saw you did it. And I'm always very honest with them. And I tell them like the amount of abuse that you get on the other end of a token. It's sort of it's a one-way door. Like once you open that door, you've walked through it, man. You really can't walk back, or you will be called a scammer for the rest of your natural born life, But having walked through it, if you make that choice, you've really got to lean into it. You cannot, you can't pussyfoot around. Like, you have to say, this is our identity now. This is a part of who we are. And because this is a part of who we are, we want to be the absolute role model in the space. We want to operate with insane trust. We want to build a scaffolding of trust. We want to show up, talk about what we're building, be honest about what we're building. We're not going to overmarket. We're not going to oversell. We're not going to overpromise. We're not going to pump our price. These are not the things that we should be doing. We should be talking about our product, the growth, partnering with people, the right people in the industry, showing up to conferences like this, shaking hands, like doing the hard work where when we leave and people are sitting around a dinner table and they're just like, dude, like, that Dupe founder is a Chad, or like, I trust him. I don't know why. Like, I like him.
Uber ride home. That's what we were talking
about. Yeah, is that right?
It's like, he's just like, yes, more of Bobby's, please.
Yeah, but like, that is a conscious choice. Or you can be the other side of that, and you can say, I'm going to do whatever it takes, guys, whatever it takes to pump this. I'm going to go like raise more money. I'm going to inject it into the chart, do that. And I think like you can do that. You can say that, and there's a market for that. But ultimately, how does that help your product? And for me, it always goes back to, how do we grow Dupe? Me doing that does not grow Dupe. So let's do all the shit that I need to do so that people talk about us the right way.
So one of the bigger discussions Josh and I have been having over the last little while is sort of around when to launch a token. And I think we've seen a big wave, especially coming out of this broader capital markets meta, of launching a token from day one and using it to raise money. Maybe it was off of volume and fees for a while. Now maybe it's pre-sales, etc. And it just, my personal take is that it's just like the worst way to go from 0 to 1, at least, is to launch a token, and 100%. That the private capital markets are built for you to have the time, space, and freedom to go figure out how to go make things work. And frankly, most things won't work. And so the idea of sort of launching a token, tying your entire sort of product and success to that public token from day one seems insane to me. And yet, there will be many people listening to this right now that would want to fight me over that. So
I want to fight you on that.
Yeah, okay, I figured you might. So I think, I would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I think like it's very simple. So there's 2 times to launch a coin. 1, at the very start, and 2, at the very end. The problem with a lot of people is that they're in the middle. So why it makes sense to launch at the very start is because the token can massively accelerate the growth of our product. So for example, I'm curious to hear from Bobby, like, has the token launch made you grow faster?
No.
No. So Bobby is a bad example.
But I think that's more common than people want to let on. Like I don't think that is actually a universal truth by any means.
Yeah, I think if you have a very crypto native product, the chances of a token early on accepting a product is a lot higher. That's my opinion. And for Bobby,
that's a good point.
But it might be a very small base number that we're sort of adding exponentials to.
And sure, and it should be that base number that does it. Like I've talked to founders, and I'm like, she's like, trying to pitch me she's trying to pitch me to sell her why she should launch on Meteora. And I'm actually telling her that she shouldn't launch a coin. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like ultimately what we want are the right people to launch a coin. The right people to launch a coin, like there's not a lot of capital to go around. We need to help curate the right people to launch a coin. And for many people, my only question to them is, can you grow faster and be more successful with a coin out there? Like if it's the money, as you guys said, capital is plentiful in private markets. If it's the money, it will not be a good reason.
Like just to be clear, like I don't think the token has grown us faster. What it's given us is lubricant on the rails for people who want to help grow us faster to have a reason to, if that makes sense. But I do agree that I think a crypto native product, right? Like I think about like an Avicii or some of these other products that do really well. When they're crypto native, it's like their entire market, they're like all of their users are in crypto. Our users are not.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Sure.
But I think what's consistent between both of your token launches too is you had a product that was working. It was retaining users.
Dude, that is so important.
You were ready to grow.
You need to have an MVP at least.
And I think
if not, it doesn't make sense.
I think about tokens very much as like a growth motion. Like you're not going to dump marketing spend into something that is a leaky bucket.
Totally.
So
yeah, like our marketing, I only dial up our marketing when we are going viral.
Right.
And the only other time I dial up marketing is if I feel like I can pay back that CAC that day. Not like a year from now. It's like
interesting. One day LTV.
It's just like it's not even it's like payback LTV to CAC payback. It's like I go to our team. I'm just like, I need to triple because like I think we're gonna be able to pay that back today. It's not like, let's hope, cross fingers that our retention's good enough that we can pay it back in a year or whatever.
And so
it's like, like there's many ways to grow. I will also say I never expected our token to be an accelerant for growth. Okay. What it has done is it's created a very loud contingent of people who talk about us in the one network that we could not crack. We cracked TikTok, we cracked Instagram, we cracked some YouTube. We were never able to crack X, and it's given us like a massive
as
market
the X
presence
growth
there.
hack.
Yeah,
let's go. I mean, I think one of the maybe under recognized issues with having a token early is like it's I think easy for us to say, hey, it's working well. It's like, I have a crypto native product, I have an MVP, I have a market cap, and we're rocking and rolling. I think people fail to think through the second and third order effects of like, okay, what happens if it's not at some point, and then the impact that has on fundraising, capital formation in the future. And so, to me, like whether you're doing it early, I mean, I think the core issue with doing it early is that it meaningfully narrows the options you have to go raise capital.
Well, if you feel like it has narrowed options, reach out to me. I'm very good at getting you out of that problem. I know how to structure things in a way where it makes sense. And that's what Meteora is good at. Meteora is good at having all of this shit you can do.
But would you consider yourself at the end though? You're saying at the beginning or at the end? You guys, to me, it seems like you guys launched your token in the middle. You have a bit. You just launched yesterday. You just announced a huge roadmap.
I actually defined as us at the beginning. Because funny enough, I've only been at Meteora for 8 months. Like Meteora is 5 years old, but my roadmap is 8 months old. So I'm ready to go full speed. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have definitions of beginning.
Yeah.
I think we've seen a lot of teams who have launched it on like literally day zero of their product. Like they're in the
Yeah,
idea
bro, you
phase.
guys did like 100 million this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I've been using your product for a year.
I know. At the beginning of something new.
We see a lot of teams.
Damn it, if you're at the beginning, where am I?
we see
Spinning
teams
tails.
launching on day zero when they're navigating the idea maze, which
Definitely.
can be a long period. You need to find conviction in the path forward. And if you don't find that, your token's trading at 300K and you're trying to raise money, and investors are like, what are you talking about?
I think I will define my thing about at the beginning a bit more. You should launch a coin when you have a product that you can see early signs of PMF.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's not like late stage PMF, but you have something, you know people will like it. It's just time to like full speed it and get it out, hit it out of the park.
Okay, so
That's
I
the
think I
beginning,
agree with that because
Yeah.
I think that you do get into a different set of challenges if you've grown, raised so much money, etc., and try to come out. And I think that's what we're seeing right now is a lot of these sort of teams that were like, oh, when should we TGE? And then they're like, the market's hot, we should get that motion going. And then it's a 6-month process. And now they're sitting here today trying to come up with a token. And the world's slightly different. The token prices the market prices are a little bit different, etc. And just kind of living in a bit of a
they
different
can go to Beef and just press the wrong button and they'll save 6 months.
I mean, honestly, I think that the most unfortunate situation of the whole Belief thing is that we don't know what other bobbies we might not miss because the fat finger launch of a token is not as easy for folks.
It's not easy anymore. Yeah, you actually need to do the work to launch the token now.
Maybe that's the place for us to end our conversation here. I'm curious if we sort of look forward, either through the lens of like what would you do differently today, or Soju through the lens of like what you're seeing people ask for. Like, what is the best way to launch a token in 2025 going into 2026?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think it goes back to what I said, the holder curation. So a token is valuable because you have the right holders who hold the token for the right reasons. So that sentence actually pretty easy ties into what I believe is next. I believe that the next step for launchpads is to give the power of holder curation at the very beginning. You need to get your holders in at the right price at the very start and not launch the coin, get sniped, then the coin comes down after the sniper sells, and all the true believers are trying to catch the coin at the right place of the chart. That doesn't work anymore. So we announced a product yesterday, which is called the THS, that lets you curate the holder base automatically with your own heuristics. So MetaDAO is going to lose it because MetaDAO's biggest problem is they launched an ICO and a $100 million floods in. So we'll solve it immediately with that. And if you can solve that from the very beginning, I believe the process becomes a lot easier. Because from the very start, you have the right people who hold your coin for the right reasons. You can talk to them. They will talk about you on Twitter. You don't have to survive that first day download anymore.
It is crazy. You think about the amount of time, like when we were fundraising, we spent dating VCs, trying to figure out who we're good, and we had a ton more money at a much higher valuation from a bunch of people that we thought would just be kind of, they're tourists in the space. And so we decided to make a different decision. And there's not a moment that goes by that I regret making that decision whatsoever. And so it is kind of crazy how in a bonding curve launch, it's literally who's the fastest, who's awake, or in MetaDAO, it's who can dump the most amount of capital in there. I got to go do a flash loan to get in. Now, Bobby, I'm curious your take, like, besides that thing you're launching, which you can't do again in 2025, 2026, what do you see out there that is actually like the leading candidate if you're to do it all over again?
I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy.
That's probably.
I think it's who is building a scaffolding of trust. Look to them. Like, who is talking about the risks clearly, talking about the benefits, who's built the best community, who feels like the most trustworthy, person. I think there was, Believe had a lead there for a long time and kind of fumbled the ball. I don't really know who's going to step in and own that going forward.
It is this sort of thing of trust. It's funny because I feel like that was very top of mind for us and in conversations for a while. And yet it doesn't feel like that has been like a main narrative over the last little while. And if I sort of step back and think about it, frankly, that's probably the only thing that matters. Like, I think so much in this space feels like, we talk about the immutability of blockchains, and it feels like you go and do a thing and then you're sort of stuck to it.
Yes.
But, the social capital that you're able to build up as founders creates this immense flexibility, frankly. But absent that trust, your flexibility is gone.
Yeah. Who do you guys think is building that scaffolding in the right way?
I think that the challenge I have with so many of the leading products right now is that if I actually push on like the core things they're saying, the there isn't as there as they say
Yes.
it is. And so if I look across, we've had a number of folks on that had different launch pads, pools, mechanisms, etc. And I'm always sort of left thinking that I'm getting a bit of marketing spin from it in a way that does not make me feel good. Like if I can look at the chart of your last 4 launches and they're all down and to the right, and you're sitting here and telling me that this product is working well, what am I supposed to do with that, right? And much rather you sit here and say, listen, worked here, didn't work. Like I want that detail. So I actually think that there is a dearth of trust, or a lack of focus on trust right now from everybody in the market, quite frankly. And we had Tolly on here before, and I think one of the things that if you sit down and talk with him for 20 minutes,
He'll tell you what,
I mean, he's a straight shooter here, right? And I think that sort of thing from day one starts to permeate. And so I guess maybe that's, I think there are a lot of really, really brilliant people, really well-intentioned people. I don't think there's any sort of malfeasance involved in how they're trying to come out doing it, but there's sort of the sense of needing to compete in a very, noisy timeline. You have a token out there that I think requires you to actually have some confidence in yourself in the future, or willing to take a long time view. I mean, we're still very nascent in this industry, and I think it can feel, I think if you look around this conference, there's a lot of young people that maybe haven't had the world experience or the business experience that maybe you've had in the previous products you've had. And I think when I see somebody who's putting that attention into saying, hey, listen, we got a lot of things going on here that are good. We got a lot of challenges we got to go serve. I'm here for 10, 15, 20 years. We're going to go run this thing up. To me, that trust, that's where that trust really starts to pay.
I agree.
I mean, I do think MetaDAO is doing the best job at the trust piece. Like whether or not the ownership mechanism, is right or actually solves the problems, I think they've created this filter for people who are like ideologically aligned with the thing they're building, do care about community ownership. So I think if there is a source of trust in the Launchpad space, it's them. But outside of that, I don't know why you wouldn't just go straight to a DEX, really.
Well, I think that's the other thing is we somehow got psyoped into thinking you need to go through a Launchpad to launch a token right now. And it's always kind of confused. I mean, to me, the Launchpad is Solana or Ethereum or Base. It's, it's like the tooling that's on top of that. And I think we're seeing that right now with a lot of the teams that are coming through. Obviously, it's not easy just to go do that right away. And maybe it isn't the place you want to be spending development resources. And maybe it's not that different. And if I'm just going right to a DEX or a launch pool where I'm not giving up a whole lot of, I'm not giving up 3% of my supply. I mean, the fascinating conversation last night was just somebody, watching a Launchpad dump their token into the market consistently over the last week, which was like, what the?
Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I was right there. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, are they even at Launchpad anymore?
Right. Well, clearly no. I mean, clearly they're not anymore. This is just
they're a rug pad.
I mean, I think the reality is if you need to go borrow credibility from someone when you're launching a token, you're not fucking ready for it.
100%.
The best thing you could possibly do today is have credibility, maintain optionality, because none of this shit's figured out. Have a long-term vision, which you guys do, and most of the space doesn't. And then, I don't know.
Obsessively communicate.
Yeah, obsessively communicate. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a good line. I know we're a bit over time here, and we'll let you guys get back to the insanity of this this conference. But I do think that communication piece is actually a really interesting one. And in our private conversations with both of you, there is an obsession over how you want to show up and how you want to communicate, and a great amount of care, I think, that's put into it. So maybe for others that are maybe thinking about launching a token or in leadership positions, I would love for you to maybe share your framework, your mental model for how you're approaching communication, because it's insane. I mean, if I look at either of your sort of replies sometimes, you're getting like, you get some shit out there sometimes.
Fiery replies.
Yeah. So is the base question is how do you prep to communicate, and like
how do you approach it?
Well, I think like the first is I don't pretend to know what I don't know. I'm open to being wrong and corrected. And when I know something, I heavily lean into it, because I know that when I'm clear about the things that I know, and they tend to be things that are important, at least to us and to our token, that builds that scaffolding of trust. It's like Bobby knows what he's talking about. Like you asked me, what's the best launchpad to launch on? I could have just named one, and I was very clear. I was like, I have no clue. Like, I just don't know. Right. And I don't want to take the flack of like naming a name and they turn out to be another set of Ruggers or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I don't know any of these guys. I haven't met any of them in person. Yeah. I've yet to, I launched on Believe. I still haven't met Pasternak in person, so it's just like, I don't know. I don't know these guys. I don't know what their intentions are. My approach to communication is don't talk about things you don't know, and the things you know, like just heavily talk about clearly.
My style is just be a punching bag. Show up,
I hate that.
show up consistently,
I hate it.
show up consistently, up, down, left, right. Just show up.
Yeah.
People doesn't know you're there. I think.
Yeah.
And you're working, which I am. And which a lot of teams are out. A lot of teams grind all day, but they don't send a single Telegram message and don't send a single tweet.
You're not taking the picture with all your engineers at 9 o'clock at night and offering them some Uber gift cards to.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I do. I just try to show up every day. Try to show my engine. Try to show the community that like this is important to me. That I have the right values, and that we'll just keep trying. Yeah. Things like we resonate a lot in that is that like, there's a lot of things I don't know, but I like to do things I know. Like in my talk yesterday, I said that like I'll try to increase revenue. Like how can that go wrong? Like if I spend all my time trying to increase revenue and then you flame me for it, like like I know that will work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my style. If you are founders hearing that, don't replicate it. Find a better style. But that's my style.
Well, there's sort of like a confidence and a trust and an understanding of oneself that's kind of required here. And I do think we skew very young. I think we skew, and I think coming from a perspective of where everything is absolutely new and you don't have the context, it's a big ask, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was on with a younger team recently, and I think they did a great job in their pitch. And yet at the same time, you can think like there's just all these gears running in the back of their heads, thinking about like, what should I say here, right? And the thing that I think comes across from both of you is sort of this deep understanding of who you guys are and confidence in showing up that way, regardless of what the response is to it.
Yeah.
And I think over the sense of, as time progresses, that becomes like a very, very clear thing, but it's maybe not obvious to people who are just coming from day one.
Yeah, I think like one of the things that I've learned on the communication front is like, because we're new to crypto and we have beginner's mind, we get to bring a totally fresh lens to it. I remember when we first launched our token, a lot of people were just like, oh, you got to burn your token. You got to burn it. You got to burn it. And I was like, yeah, no, we got to burn it. We've got to burn it. And then, I started reading about what burning is, and it's like literally lighting money on fire. And we made a decision early on that we're not going to. This doesn't make any goddamn
lighting
sense.
money on fire
Like,
makes
why
sense.
are we burning? Like, what is the
Just
point?
for a tweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what is just because 100 people think that that's gonna quote make price go up. It's like not what we're designing our token for. We're designing it for the long haul. And then we communicated that very clearly to people. We're like, hey, guys, raise hands. Why would we burn our token again in mass? Like that doesn't make any sense. And so it's just, for us, it's being vulnerable and saying like, hey, we don't understand this. We don't know what to do with this. Help us. We have a small whale group. They give us a lot of interesting feedback on how to approach the conversation, and also having a pulse on like what people care about right now. Like right now, it's ownership coin. And I hate that like people bucket dupe into like, it's not ownership coin. Everything else is ownership coin. So dupe shit.
Yeah.
Everything else gold. It's just like, guys, like, who are you? First of all, who are you people? Like, you don't know. Where did you learn? What are you talking about? And then I go into these conversations and I challenge what people are saying. And often you see that it's like very surface deep. Like there's not a whole lot of there.
Yeah.
Even with the founders, even with the launch pads, like there's not a whole lot of there. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
You're just spinning this. You're spinning.
I mean, you're a bit of an idiot, but not in the ways that people accuse you.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot on the things I don't know, for sure. 100%.
All right, guys. Would love for you guys just to share a little bit of what people should expect from your respective products over the next little while. I mean, I think we're in this sort of era right now where people are taking the under on crypto, which seems has always been the time to double down. Especially if you have conviction in what you're doing. So how are you sort of setting yourself up for 2026? I'll go to Soju first.
Yeah, I think I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. Meteora is very simple. Increase revenue, optimize expenses, invest in the future because we do believe that crypto is long term. Return the access to token holders and build a reserve. These things will work, rain or shine, ownership or no ownership, utility or no or utility, bear or bull market, and this is what I will do. Full stop.
So easy.
Yeah.
When it comes down to clarity of communication, like that's it right there, right? That's a great
These
list.
That's what
Small
happens
things
when you're a
matter.
punching bag. You get your lines.
Yeah, like for us, it's top line growth. Like we want to make sure we get as many people on Earth to know that we exist, We need a great product. We've already got one. Keep investing in that. We're in pole position in a very secular trend, something that is going to sweep e-com. There's no reason why we can't win that.
Maybe put a finer point on what this product is, because I think there's still a lot. It is still so early. You guys have sort of defined a category in many ways. But like, what am I going to be able to do in Dupe that I can't do right now?
That you can't do with what?
Well, I mean, what is agentic commerce unlocking for me?
Yeah, so basically it's like the greatest like anti-consumer rip-off tool. So anytime you go shopping online, the chances that you're getting ripped off on price is pretty high. AI has this like very unique power that it can look at hundreds of millions of lines of data and assess very quickly like whether or not you're getting scammed by looking at the same or similar product on other retailer platforms and tell you the price right then and there. So that's what we do. It's like before anyone buys stuff, they paste a product URL into dupe.com, upload an image, they type dupe.com in front of product URLs, and then we generate a marketplace. We read the product you want, we look at the market for the same or similar products, and then we give you options so that you feel confident in what to buy.
So it's a vision like the Amazon for the agentic age or something.
It's like Amazon does that for Amazon, and like no one does it for the internet, right? And so we do that across the internet.
Are we going to be in a world where we all have agents negotiating against other agents to get these things? Like,
we already have a working prototype of that. So brands are going to have. So for example, like when you see a landing page on Dupe with let's say your shirt. Like I want to buy that shirt. You paid $150 for it. I take a photo. I put it up on Dupe. Dupe says, here's 15 brands that sell this shirt or something like it. An agent can your agent can talk to the brand's agent and say, hey, I'm about to buy this. Give me a better price than what's listed on your website, or I'm going to go to your competitor. And that agent will want to win your business right then and there, and you'll buy it for less.
I love it. I love it. All right, gentlemen, you've been very generous with your time here. Thanks for hanging out with us on day one of our Breakpoint live stream. You guys are always the best. Dinner was wonderful.
Number one on the App Store.
Number one on the App Store. Thanks, guys.
I think we have some T-shirts for you here, actually.
Nice. So Vidata's going to hook you up.
Vidata, come over. I think the guys walk around and man, your T-shirt is the best.
Well, here, let's get you one, and let's make sure we get you on camera. Vidata, I don't know where you are back here. Get these guys some T-shirts.
Go see Vidata.
Yeah, head over there and then come pop. Well, Vidata, come here so we can show people the T-shirts here, brother.
Yeah, stand in front of the
camera. Give us a model that out right in front. Yeah, look at this shirt.
Okay, well, stand there like you want to be a model for a second, Vidata, and then
turn around.
That's
like
woo! Oh, that's so good. It's so good. Pure sex appeal. Vidata, you got a second job coming here, man. Let's get you in the modeling career. Gentlemen, really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll hang out again later.
Make sure you get the right sizes.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Metaplex. This clip brought to you by Metaplex. Launch tokens and NFTs on Solana and the SVM.